Hey there guys, welcome to my channel, and on this page I like to point out either the stupid, the hypocritical, just things that a logical thinking person would look at and be like, why in the heck are you doing this? Why do you think that it's necessary to cause this much of a scene, be this big of a pill, all this other stuff? That's just what I like to tackle. And right now there was a clip on TikTok from a Fox News piece of some climate change activists. If this was Avatar the Last Airbender, they would be the PETA of the Earth realm. These people are self-entitled trust fund babies who just really they are performative activists who don't give two craps about the climate. They just want to be seen and get their likes on TikTok. That sort of person. Well, this is having real world consequences in their own right. And so we're going to talk about how they're hypocritical, but at the same time, what they did caused a massive problem. And you're going to see why it caused a massive problem. And this would make anybody angry. Now, I want to have some housekeeping rules. First and foremost, the stuff that's flashing on the screen, the stickers, the letters, the narration, that's all done by the original poster of the video. All I did was re-upload the file. And secondly, you're going to see a cartoonish filter on it. That's so that the YouTube overlords and the Fox News overlords don't take this page down. And last but not least, I'm going to show a small clip of what's happening, but I will play the audio to the rest of the situation. Now that we've had that taken care of, so that my page is safe and I've taken care of all my issues, let's get right into this video clip because, boy, it will annoy you and piss you off too.
Climate protesters taking their activism to the street this week, completely blocking traffic on the I-495 beltway in Montgomery County, Maryland, and demanding that President Biden declare a climate emergency.
So first and foremost, you want President Biden to call a climate emergency. And you're worried about the climate, so you're stalling a bunch of cars, thus making the carbon issue even worse for that area. So, again, you're the PETA of Earth things, because you're doing things that are counterproductive to what your message is trying to get across. Ugh.
Now, that protest prevented a parolee from getting to work. Watch.
No, I'm about to get locked up 54 years for my parole if I don't make my job. And y'all are so inconsiderate. No. One lane. I'm asking one lane before I go to prison, bro. One lane before
Now, that parolee was arrested after he became agitated and tried to physically remove, allegedly, some of the protesters.
And that's just sad and unfortunate. It really is. Because these people don't care about anybody but themselves. They don't care about anyone's life but their own. They are performative, spoiled brats that just don't care about anything. Regardless of what your politics are, regardless of your thoughts on climate change, anything of that nature, you've got to understand that this makes no sense whatsoever. Do you honestly think having a bunch of cars stalled out, where they're pumping gas into the air? Note, gas is extremely expensive. So you're costing them tons of money as well. Where they have no control over any of this crap. Do you really think you're doing something here? Do you really think you are the hero that you play out in your head and in your bedroom whenever you pretend to be a Star Wars Jedi? You're not. This is not cute. It wasn't cute when gas was cheaper, and it's not cute now. Let's see what these hosts have to say.
You and I were talking offline the restrictions that these parolees are under. There is no room for mistakes, inadvertence, being late. We've both seen people return to prison for much less than showing up late to the job. There is honor in him trying to comply with the, at times, draconian restrictions. There is no honor in blocking the freeway and blocking people from getting to work.
Exactly. Exactly. There is literally zero honor. It amazes me that the dude who's on parole, the dude who broke the law, thus causing him to be on parole. And don't get this twisted. I understand that a lot of people fall on hardships and they do what they have to do. Doesn't make it right, but I understand that a lot of people had extenuating circumstances that wound them up in jail. But I'm just talking about this scenario right here. The lawbreaker has way more honor than the dudes who I don't think have ever seen the inside of a jail cell in their entire life, not even on TV. It is so weird. There is zero honor in this. But let's see what Mr. Richard has to say, because I am very interested in this.
I believe in the First Amendment protest, but I actually agree with you here. I actually wrote a story about this for Forbes I had a roundtable of returning citizens and really zeroing in on some of the problems they face once they've already sort of done their time. A lot of them face problems with finding housing because nobody wants to give a returning citizen housing because you have to check that I was once a felon. They have a hard time finding jobs. And on top of that, many of them, because they have to deal with parole officers, it's really hard. And they face these unsurmountable odds trying to reintegrate to society. And I think, you know, they need a little bit more grace, and the system has no grace to give them.
It's bullcrap. All this is just extreme bullcrap. Because these people wanted their own little performative stunt. It's very hard for people in parole to integrate back into society. We have no grace period, like the gentleman said, and this is an issue. And this little brat, for lack of a better word, whether he is one or not, this trust fund baby, little whiny boy, heard that he could face 54 years in prison for all of this. And you said nope. Not until President Biden declares the thing that I want him to declare. This is amazing how people like this are so freaking childish, so babyish, that they are so up their own backside that it's either they get what they want or nothing at all. The man on parole had a job. These fools don't have a job, which makes me think that they are trust fund babies. But let's proceed with this because I'm getting more and more livid by the second.
That's right. The social stigma is absolutely real of being a convict. But Harris, the point remains that here now, we don't know the outcome actually for this gentleman. We know that he was arrested. We don't know whether we know actually he didn't make it to work. We don't know now. He might be facing 54 years. And that other guy remains stalwart. He said, no, until Biden declares an emergency, I will not budge.
You know, I bet you these people got bullied as kids and now they're wanting to exert whatever power they can on other individuals. This has nothing to do with the climate. This has everything to do with the fact that they feel insignificant in this world and they're trying to make themselves look better than they are. But newsflash for you. Even people who agree with your cause don't agree with how you're going about dealing with the cause. You're not looking cute. You're not looking fun. Nobody agrees with you who has a brain on their shoulders.
So I see this, I won't say differently, but kind of turned on its head a little bit. What if you're in the back of that pack, that traffic pack, and you're having a medical emergency?
That is a very good point. That is an extremely good point. You always have to play devil's advocate in these situations before you go and do stupid stuff like this because you don't know who you're putting in harm's way. You don't know whose job you're putting in danger. You don't know whose life you're putting in danger. All because of this performative activism. It really aggravates the hell out of me.
Like, there are a lot of things that could be going on besides one guy that happens to get upset enough to be out in the middle of the intersection trying to move the people because he's got to get to work on restrictions on being paroled. But what about the rest of us? You know, I mean, yes, the First Amendment. Yes, you can protest peacefully. But he was right. You got to have a lane. Like, what if an ambulance needed to get through? Are these people just going to sit there and stay the problem? Would the cops then have to move in and move them? I mean, there has to be some common ground on what peaceful protesting looks like. We broke it in May of 2020.
Exactly. Rules for thee, not for me. And this is going to be the only little bit of political stuff that I get into, because I'm not a political page. But it seems like people on the radicalized, far, extreme left wanted to do all this stuff. They wanted to have their arguments. They wanted to have their protests. They wanted to do all these things in the streets, set everything ablaze in the streets. I don't care if you agree with what they were protesting or not. The subject doesn't matter once you set places on fire. That's what they wanted to do, and they wanted to do all this stuff. And then once they assumed the right did the same thing on the 6th, and again, I don't think that the 6th was correct. I'm just using comparisons here. One time the right did it, and everyone's having a fit over that. How about this? How about we actually act like freaking adults? We peacefully protest the way that we're supposed to. I think it's illegal to keep, I read the comment section. It's kind of illegal to keep those lanes closed because, emergency vehicles and such. That is the major thing. But these guys do not give a damn. They don't care. These people are so up their own asses. And I've seen it on both sides. So it's not me just singling out the left. I'm singling out the right too. It's just it happens more on the left than it does the right. And they call it peaceful. Let me tell you something. It's not peaceful when you cause somebody to get who's sick, who really needs medical care. Because let's just say an ambulance wasn't there. Let's just say somebody was needing to go to an emergency doctor's visit. You do not know what's going on in that situation at any given time. You don't. And so, regardless of your politics, if you're causing someone to have to miss something of vital importance, you've cost a life. And you know what? I highly doubt any of those kids got arrested. Highly doubt it. We know that the dude on parole who was trying to do the right thing to better his life and turn his life around was doing the right thing, and he could be facing 50 years in prison, which is not fair. I can understand a few months jail time for laying hands on a person, but 50 years in prison, that's completely on the protester for putting that out there. Not okay. And this is not even a left versus right issue. It's a rational, normal thinking human being issue versus people who have lost their ever-loving minds. We need to be better as a society, but we refuse to be better as a society. And this division is what's going to cause not only America to crumble, but every single country in the world to crumble. And this annoys me and pisses me the hell off. Grow up and get over yourself. The world doesn't revolve around you. Especially when you're counterproductive and you're actually causing more of a problem with the carbon emissions by causing those cars to be stalled and not be able to get to where they're going. So congratulations, your whole little protest didn't even work in the first place because it made things worse for the environment. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate you. Do all the things that you do at the end of a video. Regardless of your politics, be good people. But she was right. Y'all stopped doing peaceful protests a long-ass time ago. And I even saw normal thinking people with the same political views as you call you out because it was stupid. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Take care of yourselves. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.